Spyro the Dragon. Yes, again a game that I loved when I was a kid. This is a game where I'm going to say it is a bit outdated. I'm not going to lie about it. I think there are a lot of things that I would consider pretty outdated in this game to this day, but that doesn't mean that I do not like it. Yeah, I say it because I think it's a pretty important thing in this game. Yes, even though it's an older game, it's a game that for me defined a lot of things about gaming, and I actually really like a lot of aspects about the game. First off, this is a franchise that I feel a bit sad about. It's not really a franchise that is, let's call it simply, alive anymore. In some ways it is, but I don't really consider the Skylander games to be in that sort of same way as these games are. The sad thing about the newer games is really that, for me, when the PlayStation 2 games came out, I didn't like the game anymore. Oh my god, I'm really bad, but when that came out, I lost a lot of interest into that game, and it's because of this. This game worked really good in a lot of ways, but I also liked because you were only Spyro. In the third game, I think they screwed some things up. I still liked it, don't get me wrong about that, but they screwed some things up. Because a lot of missions you were going to be playing as different characters who just didn't handle as smooth and as great as Spyro did. And that's something that I never really liked about it. Then the PlayStation 2 one came out. I will actually have to look for a second how it was called. It was called Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, and that game for me screwed it up the most. For me that game just wasn't that real fun. Like when I played it when I was a kid, it was one of the lesser games that I liked from Spyro, but I wasn't really about things like when you breathe fire the game lags or something like that. I wasn't really that much into the idea like that it didn't run that great. I just wasn't, but I still just feel a lot of things were missed in that game, and the first one does it great. For me, the best one in this franchise is the second one, because it just upgrades a lot of things from the first game and just does a lot of things better. One of the things is the controls, and yeah, I think Spyro in this game does control pretty good. Don't get me wrong about that, he does have a pretty nice moveset, and by that I mean you can run in these. It's just a good amount of controls that you have. What is nice? That is really nice, and there's a good amount of things that you can actually do. So I will actually go into the story for a very short time, because like always I don't want to spoil a lot about the story. And yes, even these beginning things, because you might ask why don't you explain more about it. Even these small things I don't want to spoil, because I want people to play this game and just enjoy it how it is. So you see, the first thing is you can't actually get in there. So you might be like, why not? I don't know, I have no idea. But still, let's talk about the story. So simply said, the dragons are frozen in these things, like you see right there, and you have to rescue these dragons. That is simply your job. So you are Spyro, but you also have the dragonfly with you, and that is actually a pretty nice way of showing your health. When you get hit, like you see here, so it's already one color away, but you see it changes to a different color, meaning very simple. Well, when you get hit enough, it will go away and then you will simply die. This thing also picks up gems for you, what is something that I actually really like about it. So it serves more of a thing than you may expect. So because you're a dragon, and I failed horribly there, but I haven't played this game in a long time, so I have to say that on it. See, come on, motherfucker. I haven't played it in a long time. Yeah, that's not so great either. Sorry that I had to do it in a video, but so there we got it. It shows a thing, but it can also pick up the gems like a magnet, more of a thing. So this is your hub world that I am, and I just started the game. So this is simply the hub world that you have. Actually, thunder. Oh, the camera is normally. Like, oh no, don't want to quit it. Like this follows me a lot more. Maybe this is better. And in this hub world, you can simply go into these stages. Have it load for a second. It loads pretty fast. And you're in the first world. This is really cool because immediately you get dropped in a world and you can immediately start doing some missions. This is very nice and really works very well. So Spyro has a couple of controls. He can breathe fire, well, expected in a way. He can ram, what is a very useful thing, and he can fly and sort of glide. This game has quite a bit of levels and does have boss fights. The boss fights are not that special, they are very basic, let's just call it that, and they are not the most difficult thing to do. So like you saw there, I found a secret with another dragon. These dragons actually explain a bit and say thank you and everything, but for the rest not. Sometimes they do explain a bit about the game's mechanics, but for the rest they are more just as a thing you have to find. And even that is pretty fun to do. In comparison to the second game improves on almost all the aspects, but the first one still plays pretty good. Visually it's pretty damn good. And the design is pretty damn good as well. An extra light, pretty nice. So these are one of the more basic levels and one of the first levels. The level design is good and the first levels are simply easy, and then it gets a bit harder every time. It's nice that the first level actually is that the level design is pretty good, because it makes this game a lot better. The soundtrack is one of the things that I really love about this game. The soundtrack is better than you may expect. It's just really good. The soundtrack is good because every song is so unique in its way, but also so really sets the tone for the level. Right now the soundtrack is pretty much a bit calm and sort of simple in a way. But when you get to a different level, the soundtrack just changes into so many good ways. So this is a game that I played when I was younger, but my whole family played it. That was the thing. It wasn't that difficult of a game, so yeah, everybody in the family played this game and we liked it a lot. It was something that just was, when I'm changing these options so much, it was just fun to play, and the soundtrack helped. The soundtrack is something that I really remember about this game. While it may be a bit outdated, and I don't mean the soundtrack but the game, because it is, like the camera control isn't that great. Running around is fun, but it's nice, and you see you get a lot of these things, like collectibles. Finding all the gems can be pretty tough, because if you miss a gem, well, you're a bit screwed. But even then, the game actually does a pretty nice way of at least giving you a sort of way to see all the gems that you need to find. This is nice. Enemies also require different tactics. The enemies are not the best things in this game. While there is variety in them, a lot of them handle in a very similar way. But just the visual style of this game is really good. It's fun collecting these gems, that's the first thing. You really want to collect them, because it's just made in such a fun way. Collecting them is indeed very enjoyable. Exploring the level is enjoyable, and then listening to the great soundtrack is enjoyable. It's all so enjoyable to do. And that's something that really makes this game a lot better. I mean, look at these gems. I don't know why, but I love to collect them. They look so great and they make this sound like you really want to collect them. That is very important in a game. Especially when you have a ton of collectibles, what you simply have. Platforming parts in this game are good as well, and that is because Spyro, while today's standards not the best, he does control in a pretty smooth way. The problem that I always have is that the camera isn't that great. But in this way, say we can run to that side, we can glide, and we can glide on air. We can then pick up these things, these gems, and these things. But you have to keep out. Ramming is something that actually has a bit of a delay. It sort of stops, but you sort of still keep a bit of the speed. So one of the things in this game is also these things. You see them here. Well, you have to chase them and, well, fire them. They have these eggs with them. You also have to collect these eggs. The game does have boundaries, like you see here. But even then, while this is not the best looking area in terms of what there is, like it's pretty empty, it's cool that there is something like this. Like you can actually completely explore these areas. And this is something cool because, well, we can see a lot of the map just from a simple area, what this is. The Spyro franchise is for me just something that I really miss that it's gone. And I don't think it will come back. For me the PlayStation 2 games were not good, and especially not when they changed it to a brawler. Yeah, I didn't like these games and I didn't even complete the ones. I completed Enter the Dragonfly and a Hero's Tale. I completed these ones, but after that I did buy them, but I never did them. And that was when I was a kid, because even then I didn't like him. I didn't like how Spyro changed. Like, even though he looked, they bring in more and more characters and they just changed the gameplay. It was not a sort of adventure game anymore, it was simply a fighting game with average controls. It just lost all its thing. It was not about collecting these gems and collecting these collectibles or running around the level finding unique things. No, it was just way too simple. Like, this level may not be the best example. Even though it is a level in the game, it's not the most impressive level. But like I say, the levels get better and better every time. And that is something that I really like about it. A lot of things just work together very well. The gems in this game, like you see these things, well, you can collect these, but these things only drop if you actually killed them already. So there's nothing like you gotta farm these gems. You don't. They just drop once, and when you killed it, it won't drop anymore. But there are a lot of secrets in there. Like, this is something like the sound design. You hear that sound? Well, you probably did. It's just so good. Everything from the fire sound sounds nice. Everything sounds really fun. And it's actually impressive. Like, for me, soundtracks of these older games are better than many soundtracks of modern games. While modern games do have sometimes soundtracks that I really like, they do it in a very different way. And this is the first time where we're going to get a bit of different levels. So, we get this thing and we can only open it with a key, what we have to find and bring back here. But you see these shielded enemies are here. So these frogs will actually drop. Well, I think they drop these flies. Probably not because I don't have them. But oh yeah, they drop these butterflies so you can heal up. This enemy is resistant to, say, fire when he's shielded, but you can ram him to death. Yeah. So again, you have to think a bit about how do you want to deal with him. So then you get this. So this is a place where I wouldn't really go, because you get this thick bad guy here and he just dies. Enemies die quick, but that's something that is nice. So I'm exploring this level and I'm going into them, actually put on these fires. I don't actually remember what it does anymore. We get up here. They run away behind this bad guy. Or the big guy. Well, they are bad guys as well. For me, it's a game that I recommend a lot. I think it's a game that if you like these kinds of games, this is a game that you absolutely should have played. And for me, when I was a kid, like I had Crash Bandicoot, I did have that. I have had 2 of the games, I think the second and the third one. I didn't really play that much as this. In this one I played the second one the most, because I think it improves in a lot of ways, and even for me, these controls can be a bit clunky at times. But even then, they can be a bit clunky, they also are very nice to control. And that sounds weird, but in one way they are clunky, but in one way they just control in a pretty good way. The thing that I also have to keep in mind with these reviews is, well, these games are older. So for the PlayStation 2, I think a lot of games are just still very playable. But when I go to this one, I'm just getting a bit different. Like, first off, a lot of these games are logged in like 30 or even 20 FPS, yeah. While with the PlayStation 2, a lot of them are actually 60 FPS. This game isn't that difficult, but I also feel that it is because kids can play it. So I'm not going to say that kids are bad at games or something, I don't mean that, but I mean this game is playable for everybody. And that's really nice. Oh my god, I fucked up. It's also nice that you can take a couple of hits. Always something that I liked about Spyro is, well, he doesn't die immediately. It is also in a lot of ways fair. Yeah, the boss fights I'm not a big fan of, but not because they're unfair, but just they were easy. Some of them you can complete very simple, and yeah, there are some ones that are a bit more difficult. But some of them are easy. So we got the key. So we can open the chest. So let's actually do that, and then I'm actually going to end the video. But I just want to show off how beautiful even this. Like, this area looks good, like the lighting and everything. I mean, it looks pretty good. So let's actually try to ram him this time. Oh my god, that was what I meant to do. Yeah, but no. So like, the thing in the second one that they fixed as an example is this. So you see, you don't jump very high when you are ramming. In that game they make it where you can jump pretty high. So there's a lot of more momentum. So we got the key. Slides right in there. And yeah, you get gems. This is so nice. It's nice hearing that sound, seeing how you collect them. It's also so pretty to do. This game also has a lot of variety in the levels. Every level is different in a way. Although the enemies do stay kinda the same, they do implement enemies that do use new abilities. Kill them, yeah. I always say kill them, but well, I actually don't know. Like, you do burn these enemies. I have to keep that in mind. You go down here. Look what is here. Oh, we already was here. Let's actually kill him. Get his gem. Let's actually look how many we got. We got all of them. So this world is actually completely done, and this is fun. Like, but like I say, it gets harder. The levels get bigger than this. The levels they change a lot, but still in a fun way. So we actually got all. I didn't actually expect that. So oh wait. Where was the traveling thing? I think it was like... Also with flying is, you can't actually stop mid-flight. Like, when you ram you can, but not just... If you just let go of the button, it still flies on. So like, yeah, I'm still flying, you see. But that's something that is okay, and I think it's something that they really wanted to implement as a mechanic. So here we get the gems. Oh my god, look at it. Yeah, I'm going on about how they look, but everything in that is really good. So we got an egg as well. And this game, especially the first one, is the biggest thing is getting collectibles. I ain't going to joke about it. A lot of things is collectibles, but even then, I don't even care. Like, yeah, in modern games they throw in a lot of collectibles and all these things, but in something like Spyro, collectibles work. So here we got a new area, and let's actually bit of a sneak peek of it. You know, I'm not going to go complete this level because I don't want to spoil anything. If you want to play this game, like, buy it and play it. I mean, this level, so it has a very different style to it, you probably see. So yeah, these same enemies are here, but with dogs, and he hit me. So these dogs are pretty tough enemies in comparison to these. I don't actually know how to call them. Yeah, and he kicked me off and I'm dead. Good job. So in this game, in this world, you have a bit of a mysterious soundtrack anyway. So we can just run past the enemies. But that is a thing that you can very simply do. Like, well, not if he hits me, but you want to go down. Oh my god, that was a really bad way. But we can run against them, and well, there's a boss fight there, and this is a boss fight that's pretty simple. Pretty simple, and the mechanic isn't that difficult at all. So everybody, I recommend you to get this game. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. And yes, I will well, I don't know if I will do all these Spyro games, but I try to do that. But see, there are GBA games as well. Yeah, Game Boy Advance for people who don't know, and I don't really want to play these games. Maybe I will try to do the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games. But for the rest, if I've not played the Spyro game, I will not review it, because like I can play it and to completion, but I probably won't. Like, I'm not going to review Skylanders. I don't even call it Spyro anymore. I mean, I have no idea why they I have no idea why they did that. I mean, I like Spyro, but no, I'm not going to review Spylands. I also can't because I don't have all the, I don't know what it's called, like the thing that you need for it to play the game and everything. I don't have that. So thank you everybody for watching, and I see you next time on another video.